Well, thanks so much for doing this, man. I have the most fun job of the day, as you can see from everybody taking pictures, which is to get to chat with you a little bit here. So thankfully, for those of us who are NBA fans, the season is starting again in less than a month. So, a lot of people who are, who are players in the league are ramping up their training. They're back in the gym, kind of starting to get ready for preseason. And yet, you're taking some of this kind of crucial time to be here this week. This is your first UN General Assembly, and you wanted to take some extra time to talk a little bit about growing basketball in Africa and the opportunities that presents. You're meeting with world leaders, you're speaking to folks, asking questions and talking about some of those incredible opportunities. Can you talk a little bit about why you thought it was important to kind of start this personal journey of giving back to Africa, and what questions and topics you're going to be talking about this week?
First of all, thank you for having me. It's an honor sitting here with you guys, and to answer your question, I think being in my position, I've always felt like that was my duty. Being from Africa and seeing what we all go through, and having been lucky to have this opportunity to be sitting on this stage and to make it at this level, just felt like I have to do it. That's what I have to do, and it's really important, especially growing basketball, growing sports in Africa. I mean, some of the topics, that's some of the topics that we talked about. There's a lot of people like me, but they don't have the same opportunity. I got lucky. I wasn't even playing basketball. I was 16 years old, and I was playing volleyball, and out of nowhere, I got this opportunity to just, start and then to get to America. And I know there's a lot of us because, from a young age, that's also why I focus on youth, because from, Americans from the young age, that starts so little, and then they grow and grow. And with us, when you're born, your parents, they want you to be doctors, they want you to go to school, which school is also important, and, it all mixes together, education and sports. And I think, one of the reasons, why I want to do this and is to just encourage people to look at my story and to believe that it is possible, because, I did it, but, and meeting with some of the people that I've met so far, I think my big emphasis has been to just, try to help as much as possible, trying to push, because I believe in us. I believe in Africans. We have the talent, but, we need help. We need infrastructures. We need leadership. And, but like I said, that's what I think is extremely important.
Yeah, and it seems like there's this really growing group of prominent Africans involved in the NBA, not just players, but also executives. You had dinner last night with Masai Ujiri, the president of the Raptors, and some other African world leaders at Tatiana. Can you talk a little bit about, and you discussed a lot of these topics, can you talk a little bit about what you guys discussed at dinner, and where you think some of the opportunities are to start having conversations, or opportunities for concrete growth?
First of all, Messiah has been a big part of this, a big key. He's done a lot, he's accomplished a lot, and he's been a mentor to me. So, I want to learn. For me, the first thing was, being part of this for the first time is a learning experience. And then also trying to add some input as far as, what can we do? Some options to do. And but the focus was really about, just talking about some of the issues that we have, and how can we get better? What's the next step? What can we do to make sure that we reach that next level? The focus on youth, the focus on women, because women are extremely important. And since I've become a parent, I have a son, 4-year-old son, and I have a daughter on the way. So it put so much more emphasis in, what I have to do as a role model and as a leader. So, those are some of the stuff that we talked about, and, I keep going back to this. I think, for me, infrastructures are a big part of it.
Yeah.
Without that, you can't really develop what you want to do.
Yeah. Are your kids already playing basketball? Are they?
I mean, that's no, they're not. You know, my son is not that. You know, it's difficult for me because I was in a situation where I play volleyball and I don't want to push basketball into him, which I'm not going to do. And it just happened naturally.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was forced to, like, oh, I got to be this, I got to do that. And to me, you know, but then again, it makes it hard for me because I'm like, well, I started playing at 16 and I ended up making it, but everyone is different.
Yeah.
You know, you might have to start a little younger, and, you know, because everybody's different, like I said, but no, they're not. But at some point, you know, I think he's going to have some pretty good genes. So, you know, if he wants to, he can. You know, ultimately, I want him to be a Formula One driver.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or a soccer player. But Formula One driver, he's going to probably be too tall, so that's not possible. And
Yeah,
soccer
you need
players,
more guys
same
like
thing.
me doing Formula One.
Yeah, there
Maybe
you
more
go.
people like your son do, you know.
Or playing soccer, which, I mean, if he's taller than, I don't know, 6'2" or what, that's going to be a little hard.
So wait, to get back to this question though of growing basketball in Africa, this is obviously something that's been a big public push that the NBA has done. Adam Silver has said that there's a big opportunity for growth as a market for fandom and in terms of recruiting, which we've kind of talked about in terms of finding awesome talent. We saw a lot of that in the Olympics over the summer. Has Adam Silver, as you know, you're the most prominent African NBA player. You were NBA MVP. Has he asked your advice about growing the league in Africa? And if not, what's some advice that you would give him?
I mean, it's a difficult subject because, you know, as NBA players, it's kind of hard to be involved because of some of the CBA rules. But I'm always open to do anything because for me, you know, like I said, you know, being where I'm from, that's my duty. I gotta do as much as possible, and you know, if there's something I gotta do, I'm always willing to do because I believe, you know, Masai made a comment earlier. He said, you know, by 2050, 1 in 4, you know, people are gonna be from Africa, which is big. And you know, he said, you know, the median age is 20 years old. So I mean, Africa is coming. We just need, you know, the help and the structure.
Do you see any other foreign? I think back to when I was growing up watching Yao Ming on the Rockets, and after his successful career in the NBA, he went and helped build up basketball in China and plays a really big part in the development of their kind of growth. Is that kind of something are people like Yao Ming and other, are there any players like that who you think are models for, helping to grow basketball both in Cameroon, where you're from, but also in Africa in general? Is there anybody else like that who you think that's a good role model? That's kind of who I want to be after, my long successful career in the league.
There's a lot of them. I think Lungba Mute was the guy that found me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he gave me the opportunity to get started, and Masai has been a big part of it. I mean, what he's done, when I started playing basketball, 3 months into it, I went to Luke's camp, and then he sent me to South Africa, and then Masai was there. Masai has been doing this for years, and that's why I really look up to him. Joakim Noah has been doing a lot of great things. You mentioned Yao, Dikembe has done a lot of great things. So for me, sometimes I get mad at myself because I'm like, I wish I could have done this sooner. But then again, I feel like everything happens for a reason. I'm at the stage of my life where, I'm 30 years old. I had time to build myself up and make sure that, I was in a position where I could make some big impact. And that's really my dream. I want to, have as much impact as possible, especially on the continent of Africa. And, like I said, yeah, that's my goal and that's my dream.
Yeah. So we only have a few minutes left, so I want to just briefly ask you, you got to spend a month or a little bit more than a month over the summer hanging out with some of the most iconic NBA players of all time as part of the U.S. Olympic team, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. Was there anything about spending time with those guys that kind of surprised you that you weren't necessarily expecting?
Not necessarily. I mean, I've been playing against all those guys for a while now. No, but I think the Olympic experience has always been my dream. I always wanted to do this, so I was happy to be part of it and just experience it. And the group of guys that we had, that were amazing. I think we had, we had a great team, but I think those guys are also great human beings. Just being around them, and just everybody, just being normal and just having fun together, just talking and just going at each other.
Yeah.
That was a fun time, and then going out on the, at the same time and competing towards the same goal, and winning it. Winning the gold medal was exciting. And then I went back to Cameroon. Spent some time with my family, enjoy. So it was really fun.
Yeah, you ready for the season?
Yeah, I mean, of course.
All right, Joel, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.